The State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
So we have now time to check in with CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor, Nick Day, who's also the editor of CoinDesk State of Crypto newsletter. Good morning, Nick.
Good morning, Nick.
Good morning.
So Nexo is deciding to pack up its bags and leave the United States. What happened?
Yeah, so yesterday morning, Nexo announced that it would stop offering services within the United States in the coming months. We don't have a firm timeline, basically blaming regulators for what it called a unclear regulatory regime, saying it was, talking to both state and federal regulators about its various offerings, and that it was unable to meet all of the demands of the paperwork and revised business models that they asked. Nexo's blog post went on to say that some of the demands between the different regulators were actually contradictory, and it even took aim at the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, which announced last week that it would continue investigating Nexo. Nexo saying, by the way, we're being investigated by the CFPB, also the SEC, et cetera. So it just sounds like they don't want to continue dealing with the plethora of regulators that are investigating the company.
So this is basically an issue where you have a company that's being investigated, and they're like, "Yeah, we're done here."
Pretty much, that's what it sounds like. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that a bad sign? I mean, have we seen other similar crypto companies, just throw up their hands and leave jurisdictions, but then, get into trouble?
Well, probably the closest analog I can think of, actually, because Nexo is a lender. Remember that BlockFi actually settled with the SEC and a number of state regulators earlier this year. And that settlement was over allegations that its high-yield product was basically a securities violation. And what ended up happening is BlockFi paid a pretty hefty fine to the SEC as well as to the state regulators, and then spent the next several months trying to secure licenses for its current, for the high yield product. That, obviously that's not happening anymore, but that became a huge factor in the brief FTX bailout of the company as well. So it does sound like the SEC and the state regulators have a pretty clear idea of what it is they want. Obviously, Nexo's business model was slightly different from BlockFi's, so we don't have the details, the specifics of why exactly Nexo was unable to or unwilling to meet whatever demands that BlockFi could have been able to meet. Now, of course, with BlockFi in bankruptcy and Nexo announcing its intention to leave, I'm pretty sure it means there's no major crypto lenders left, or there will be no major crypto lenders left in the U.S. After that.
All right.
Yeah, just to sort of clear it up, is that BlockFi they were fined $50 million from the SEC and $50 million from like 38 different states together, and that there are people who say that is what brought down or helped bring down BlockFi. That this huge fine ended up helping to destroy it. I mean, is that something I guess that's what Nexo's worried about, eh?
All right.
That's an interesting claim. I would say, given the numbers at hand, that's it's worth interrogating that a bit more, because BlockFi paid ultimately around $20 million to the SEC, and we don't know how much it paid to the states, but it doesn't look like it paid the entirety of that $100 million fine, and it needed a much bigger fine or a much bigger bailout from FTX. So, if the claim is BlockFi settling with the SEC meant that customers left, I don't have any information to
I think one of the arguments there was that, the SEC's, the regulator's job is to protect customers, but they're, fleecing is one viewpoint, these companies, and those customers are no longer, going to be protected because those companies are now insolvent. Thank you very much. Maybe the regulators should give the money that they took from BlockFi to the customers. We'll see.